Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Quality Analyst. In today's session, we are going to discuss a very practical and very real world Selenium topic. Up until now, most of us have been running Selenium scripts only on Chrome, but in real projects, that is not enough because users do not use just one browser. Some users use Chrome, some use Edge, some use Firefox, Safari, Opera, whatever, right? And as an automation engineer, our responsibility is to ensure that our application works correctly on all major browsers. So in this session, we will learn how to run the same Selenium script on different browsers, how to control browser selection using code, and how this concept is used in real automation frameworks. So before we look at the code, let's understand why cross-browser testing is important. So in real-time projects, your customer may use Chrome browser, your manager may use Edge browser, your client may use Firefox browser, and if your application fails on even one browser, that is considered a defect. That's why cross-browser testing is mandatory and expected and frequently asked in interviews. So this is why Selenium supports multiple browser drivers, so which we have already seen in our earlier session. We were downloaded the different browser drivers and we have used them in our Selenium script, right? So in this session, we are going to automate a simple scenario of our practice site. Let me open our practice site for the register page. So what we will do, we will enter a username here in the name field, enter the last name in the field, and then we will try to get these fields as well. Okay, so let's see inside ID. Okay, so create a class here. So different browser test. Okay, so what I will do, I will just add a main method, and then again, as we have discussed in after 4.6.0, no need to set up browser drivers manually. So that's why we can directly initialize our driver instance and then we can proceed with our test case, right? So for now, let's start with the driver instance is equal to no new. Let's consider for now it is Chrome driver. Okay, later we will make some modifications. And now driver dot get and then pass the URL. Pass the URL here. So I will just copy this URL and then paste it over here. Okay, so it will launch our application and it will navigate to the link, right? So now we'll try to inspect these elements and then we'll try to find out the locators for them. Okay, just inspect and then just select. Okay, and now you see there is an ID. So I will simply use ID here, reg name. So driver dot get, driver dot find element by dot ID and then pass the ID value here. Okay, and then import this by class. Okay, and then as this is the input field, I will just send keys and will add, let's say, admin. Okay, now I will try to locate the other element, that is last name. Okay, again it has the ID as reg last name, so I will use this ID. So this time let's try to find it out with the help of XPath. So what we can do is, how to write XPath, just do Control F and then double slash, then input, the tag name is input, and then we are using the attribute ID because our element only has attribute as ID. So you can use that ID as an attribute here and then pass that particular name. So this is your path, this is your XPath. You see there is only one occurrence, right? So just copy this. So instead of ID, I am using XPath now. So driver dot find element by dot XPath and then pass this XPath here. And again, this is a input field. So I will pass the, maybe just pass it admin. Okay, admin 2. Okay, or maybe we can add some name here, Satish. Okay, this is Agrawal. Okay, So how this is how we can locate, and we can just pass the particular value to the fields, input fields. Okay, so now if you want to get the value, okay, what you can do is similarly driver dot find element by dot xpath. Okay, and then again I will pass that particular xpath here, and then again now instead of that I will use get text. Okay, so again this is a tricky part here. If you simply use get text, so let's try to add something here. Okay, with the get text it will not work. Okay, you see, just try to highlight this because this is not a enclosed text, right? So that's why we should be using attribute here. So you can do that. So just try to use here get attribute, and then pass the attribute as value. Okay, so this will work. Okay, now by default it will work on Chrome. So let's try it whether it fails or passes. Pause it. So it has launched the browser. It has navigated to the page, and you see it has type in Satish and name, right? Satish and last name. Okay, so now we will try to optimize this a bit. Okay, so let's store this in a value. Let's say last name. Okay, so what you can do, you can just simply add a condition here. If last name dot equals Agrawal, okay, what we can do is we can just simply print system dot out dot print line our test is passed. Okay, else system dot out dot print line the test is failed. Okay, so this is our checking part. Okay, so again try to run this. The browser is launched. We'll type Satish and Agrawal here, and then you see the test is passed. Okay, because the last name equals Agrawal here. Okay, so let's close this, and now we will try to optimize this to use multiple browsers. Okay, so what you can do is let's define a string browser name here, and then for now let's keep as, or maybe let's keep it as H. Okay, so now what we will do, we will add in a if condition. If the browser name dot equals H, okay, H, what we can do is we can simply pass WebDriver driver is equal to new age driver. Okay, so what we can do is we can just simply remove this from here, and then we will define it outside. Okay, and just define it as null here. Okay, so based on the browser browser name, it will choose the driver here, right? So this is for each case. So each case. Okay, so now else if browser name dot equals Chrome, so what we can do is we can just assign driver is equal is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay. Similarly, else if the browser name dot equals Firefox. In this case, we will assign driver is equal to new Firefox driver. Okay. So this is how it will work. Okay, because still we are hard coding it here, but in real automation projects, we are not hard coding it. We are passing it at a runtime, and it will choose that particular browser, and it will assign this driver instance correctly based on the browser, right? So what we can do is we can simply add, we can just maximize the window. So driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay, so it will maximize our page. Now we have given age as a case here, and at the end what we will do, at the end we will close the session, right? So driver dot quit. So let's try to run it. Now it should take age as a browser here. Because we are hard coding, that's why it is giving you the warning here. Method invocation equals may produce null pointer exception. That is fine, but we are already giving some data here, so that should be fine. You see it has opened Edge browser here. It has maximized. It has opened the page. It has typed in name and last name, and at the end it has verified this thing as well, and based on that the test is passed. So if you change it to Firefox or Chrome, let's say Chrome here, it will launch with a Chrome browser. See, now it has opened Chrome and the test is passed. Similarly, what we can do, we can simply pass Firefox here. Pass Firefox and again try to run it. Okay, so you see it has opened Firefox. It has maximized, okay. And then it has navigated to the link and it has added Satish and Agrawal here in the last first name and last name. And you see the test is passed. So that's it for the session. So let's summarize. We learned how to run Selenium script on multiple browsers. We understood runtime browser selection, and we saw how WebDriver enables polymorphism here, right? So this is a must-know concept for real projects, interviews, and the framework designs. So if this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone learning Selenium. Happy learning, and I will see you in the next lecture.